While opening a restaurant is absolutely one of the scariest things you can do and just the biggest risk, people here will support it.
My name is Craig Rivard. I'm the executive chef and owner of Little Fox Restaurant.
Mowgli Rivard, and I'm one of the co-owners with my husband, and just sort of oversee day-to-day and the big picture of keeping Little Fox true to itself.
I think probably the first time I knew that I wanted to be a chef and open my own restaurant was probably at the age of 16 while working at a restaurant here in St. Louis.
Maybe starting around 12, my dad would drop me off at the grocery store on Sundays. I'd have my shopping list and I would do all of it myself and then, cook for the week. So I just have always enjoyed meal planning and cooking.
I ended up doing a hospitality bachelor's degree. Decided as sort of a graduate program for myself, I would go to culinary school. Chose the Culinary Institute of America out in Hyde Park, New York. During my time there, I did my externship down in the city at Gotham Bar and Grill and just fell in love with New York City, that pace of everything. Then moved into the Brooklyn food scene shortly thereafter, sort of leaving the fine dining scene behind and taking the same technique and attention to detail and ingredients, but in a more casual atmosphere.
Both cooks by trade. We met in a restaurant in New York, and then we're lucky enough to do some traveling and live in Europe for a while. Have enjoyed developing our love for food and restaurants together. So we definitely knew that's what made sense for us, was to open a restaurant. Then we ended up deciding St. Louis was where we really wanted to do it.
So we would often travel back, visit family, keep an eye on the food scene here and what was going on, and we were genuinely just really excited about what was going on in St. Louis. Knew eventually we wanted to be a part of that.
We were coming from Brooklyn, and then I think for me it was like that, all the brick that's here, sort of like Brooklyn is. I think it was just like we can sort of just try and create this little mini Brooklyn here. It was,
we would sort of canvass neighborhoods whenever we were back visiting family, and this neighborhood really stuck out to us. Bought a house in the same neighborhood as the restaurant, about a block and a half away. I get to walk to work. And
you just see so many people walking their dogs and families and being able to create more things that you don't have to get in your car to do.
Both working and dining in the Brooklyn food scene, the way that people approached food there, caring about where it came from, sort of that fluidity of menu based on, what's showing up around from the farmers and things like that. Just loved eating like that and wanted to replicate that here.
We're a modern neighborhood restaurant. And people said, "What's that?" And I said, "Just come." And that, for me, has been the most rewarding, is usually when people have left, they're like, "I totally get that." And they just enjoy themselves. This is simple food done well. It doesn't hit you over the head, but it can really blow your mind. Craig and I were in Chicago just for a little trip. Another restaurant owner just texted us, "Congratulations on the New York Times list." And we're like, "What are you talking about?" Sure enough, it was 50 restaurants they were most excited about. Obviously, being a New Yorker, have had a subscription to the New York Times for a very long time. It was very meaningful, for sure.
That was a big shock. Really flattering and humbling to be recognized for what we were doing on this little corner in St. Louis.
I always was so excited to be able to open a restaurant with him because his food's so phenomenal. So I'm really proud to see people love it so much.